Well, hello, October. How are ya? Thomas Miller on the Fun Astrology Podcast. Ooh. Okay, so we've got a lot to talk about here today, setting up the month of October. This is going to be a wild ride already, as it promises from the outlook to be full of surprises. If you followed any other astrology sites, you know that everybody is talking about this. This is one packed month. All right, let's break it down. Start with today. Not much today, 11:48 p.m. Eastern Time. The moon goes void of course in Capricorn. Changes signs tomorrow morning into Aquarius at 6:20 a.m. This lunar position, changing from Capricorn into Aquarius, could end up being quite significant as the week gets started, but we'll see. Let's lay some more groundwork here. Mercury, as of early yesterday morning, is no longer retrograde. That's good news. We have two other planets stationing to go direct from their retrograde course. On October 8th is Pluto, and on October 23rd, Saturn stations direct. And then on moi birthday, October 30th, Mars turns retrograde. We have a full moon on the 9th, so right there, the day after the Pluto station direct. And then, of course, we have the solar eclipse on the new moon on the 25th, and that will be in Scorpio. Let me give you a couple of ingress dates here. On the 10th, Mercury enters Libra. On the 23rd, Venus enters Scorpio. Scorpio season also begins on the 23rd, so both the Sun and Venus on that date. Jupiter enters Pisces on the 28th. That's also significant, where it will stay on its retrograde recourse until it turns direct and then re-enters Aries in December. One other date, it's a November date, but it's significant in October, and that is November 5th is when the Sun next conjoins the south node of the moon in Scorpio. Why is that significant? Well, if you follow our moon wobble count, then we back up from that. And I've been playing with this a little bit because the way it was taught to me is the moon wobble backs up 3 full weeks from that date. So that would bring us all the way back to October 15th. Saturday, October 15th would be the 21 day prior to the next conjunction with the Sun and the nodes. However, I've been also reviewing, and I think the person who originally termed this back in the 1930s, I think, or at least he was back that era of astrologer, said 14 days. So we'll watch. That puts it at the 22nd, which is also significant, and I'll tell you why in just a second. So add to your October calendar the 15th if you want a 21-day moon wobble, and the 22nd if you want a 14-day moon wobble. Now, what do we have going on in the world? Well, since we last talked, Vladimir Putin has accused the West of blowing up his Nord Stream pipeline. This one, folks, is an absolute debacle because you have Joe Biden saying back in January that we could do it and would do it if Russia invaded Ukraine. Well, Russia invaded Ukraine in February. Biden didn't do anything about it then, so did he do something about it now? If not, if Putin supposes he did, is that enough to potentially Pluto all over the place in the United States chart and solar arc chart create some kind of nuclear conflict? I mean, look, we go back to, I love how Robert Glasscock puts this. You look at these aspects, and then you step away, and you watch the news, you watch events unfold, and you say, are we moving closer to or further away from? And we continue, inch by inch, step by step, moving toward what these aspects in the sky indicate. Pluto in the United States chart, either the natal chart or the solar arc chart, is in 3 conflicting or challenging aspects. In the natal chart, it's the Pluto return itself. In the solar arc direct chart, it's a conjunction with the midheaven. And then in the converse or backward solar arc chart, Pluto is approaching a trine to natal USA, natal Neptune. And it's 10 years away, which is significant as some of these dates unfold, from a direct square with the United States solar arc Uranus. Now, I know that's a lot to blah, 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 but just know that there are some challenging aspects with Pluto, which rules all things nuclear. Then a big financial story that broke out on Saturday afternoon. 2 European banks are on the brink of disaster. I mean, we're back to 2008 kind of disaster. Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank are not in good shape. I spent quite a bit of time on this over the weekend, and where the Fed has been taking interest rates in the United States is having a ripple effect across the world. And this is, as for the next 12 days, add the last big aspect into the chart, and that is the degree-based square at 18 degrees, Saturn squaring Uranus again, now for the 4th time since last year. I watched somebody who made a lot of sense to me, and I talked about this on the Saturday Financial Podcast, so if you're interested in this, I would refer you back to Saturday. But I talked to this guy who made a lot of sense to me, who said that if there is a crisis with the U.S. dollar, it would begin with the euro, and it would move quickly. So we have to really watch this Credit Suisse Deutsche Bank thing and see what happens over the next several days. But this is exactly why I was saying that we're already coming in hot for October. So we've got a lot to do. Last week I recorded some of the episodes ahead of time because of my schedule. This week I'm keeping it very tight because the news could shift a lot here. And I'll tell you this, if something does pop up, we will do some break-ins and I'll have some extra episodes on those days. And also, you can keep an eye on our Facebook page, and I'll keep things updated there as well. That's the Subconscious Mind Mastery and Fun Astrology Podcast Listeners group on Facebook. Have a good one. We'll see you back tomorrow. I'm going to talk about these Jewish holidays for a bit tomorrow. That's also significant.